Well, hey, Johnnie Roberts, welcome to another great episode of your podcast. Are you doing well today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Mike?
Overall, I tell you, I can't complain too much. It just doesn't do any good, and it's just more fun to be here with you talking about retiring at new heights and how people can understand different things. So I'm always excited to be here with you, man.
Yeah, we're excited here too, man. We're getting close to the Christmas season now, and I'm ready to do my yard with all the decorations. We're early people, so
That's great.
even though it's early November, we're ready to roll.
Yep,
So it's exciting time of year, man. People are cheerful and excited, so I'm excited.
they are. And we're coming in one of my favorite holidays, which is Thanksgiving, which
Oh
I
yes,
mean, I love them all, but I just love gathering around the table and giving thanks for what all God's given us. So,
can't skip
uh,
over that one. That's true.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're talking about things that God has given us. He's given us this thing that man created called annuities, right? And it's very much a polarizing word. You hear some people saying, "I love annuities." You can hear other people saying, "I hate annuities." And what I found over the last few years in talking with people like you is really a lot of people don't even understand what an annuity is or what it can do for them. So I was hoping we could take some time today and just really talk about annuities. What are they, and what can they do for somebody as they look for going into retirement?
Well, first of all, I think we mentioned this last week or whatever, but Social Security is like an annuity.
Mm-hmm.
Right. An annuity's definition is you're putting money, you have a contract with an insurance company, you're putting money into this, and then at the end of when you annuitize or whatever, you will set up to where you can get an income, whether it be for life or whatever it may be. That's the general definition. If you were looking up an annuity, that's what it would kind of say. You're putting money into something, the contract with the insurance company, then you'll receive that money back in like a guaranteed income stream or whatever it may be. So that's the basic of it, which is exactly what Social Security is. We're
Mm-hmm.
putting money into, unfortunately, the government, but supposedly our own account, where at some point we turn it on and it gives us a guarantee income for life. So even though some people are, I don't like annuities, well, you're already part of one.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? You're part of one already. And we all love that one. We don't want nothing to change with Social Security, right? We're like, oh, I'm gonna make sure I get it. They better not change it. So um that's kind of where it's at. Now, a lot of people, like you said, they have um, just horrible thoughts about annuities, and some people, like you said, absolutely love them. You know, so
Yeah.
like with anything in life, um, some people like a McDonald's hamburger, some people like a Whopper, right? So
Yeah.
there's things that some people like. Now, annuities are a great tool in a retirement toolbox that you
Mm.
have to help make your retirement successful.
Mm-hmm.
Are they everything you need? No, but they definitely should be a portion of a lot of people's retirement that are concerned about income, guaranteed, protecting their money for a lifetime. So
Yeah.
they are a tool, just a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah. When I love you just talked about the toolbox. You've got a retirement blueprint and toolbox that you work with your clients to kind of create. And your analogy there of Big Macs, Big Macs and Whoppers reminded me one time years ago. I had I needed to unscrew a nut off of a bolt. I don't even know what I was working on, but all I remember, Johnny, is I didn't have a crescent wrench or pliers. I had two flat edge screwdrivers. And I was trying my darndest to unscrew this nut with two flat edge screwdrivers. And so a friend of mine finally came up and says, "Here, why don't you use this?" And I was a wrench and I got it off really fast, but I didn't have the right tool, and that made all the difference. But if you had a tool full of just screwdrivers, you're not going to get a whole lot done. You need a variety of things. That's really what you talked about, and that's what your retirement blueprint and toolbox really helps people understand. Is many times there is a place for an annuity. And there's a place for investments and there's a place for other things, life insurance. We're going to talk about that. But the portion for your and I think help the listeners understand that there is a portion of your money that should be um safe, right? Like this guaranteed income. There could be a portion where you'd have to invest, and there could be a portion that you just spend on vacations, holidays, grandkids, things of that nature in order for you to really retire the way that you're wanting to retire. Is that kind of a fair synopsis?
Absolutely. It's like one thing we always try to talk to our clients about. We're sitting down is I've got all this money, Johnny, but we got to make it money with a purpose. So
Mm,
this particular amount of money, this is going to be the purpose of that. This particular amount of money, this will be the purpose of that, and so forth. A lot of people don't think that way. They just see a big pot of money And like we talked about in the tax thing before, they don't think about, man, how much of this money is taxable? How much of this money is going to be used for this? So, like you said, there's different avenues that we need to take with their money and make it money with a purpose and define what each amount will be for. And that's different for every person, depending on their own personal needs, what they have going on, what they want to accomplish. But we've got to have a definition of what we want to do with our retirement money, and then look in our toolbox and find the right tool for that purpose of money.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the book I wrote, that's all about Retirement Shield. Retired New Heights is all about having a full toolbox that Social
Yeah.
Security, investments, save money, income, long-term care. There's a lot of things that need to be in a toolbox for retirement. And one of those things is kind of what we're talking about today, possibly annuities.
Right. Yeah, and I think people need to understand that just like lots of things in life, things change. And years and years and years and years ago, there were some annuities around that really weren't very good. They were just bad. And I think so many times grandpa or your parents may have had some of those and said, "Yeah, don't buy annuities. They're bad." But that was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. A lot of things have changed and annuities are really powerful tools, and institutions use them, corporations buy them, banks buy, I mean, all kinds of people buy them. But I think we have a bad taste in our mouth. And I think it's important to sit down and talk with somebody like you, Johnny, to go, okay, just hey, help me understand what this thing is and where might it fit, and to realize, like you said, it's not for everybody. It's not that you have to have one. It just has a certain set of rules that it runs by that really can provide some cool things that we're going to talk about in the next episode. But it's sitting down and really creating that blueprint for retirement. And I know that's one of the first things that you do as you work with people, right?
Absolutely. It's part of the puzzle. And like you said, you know, some older folks love the annuities because they just provided that safe, protected, guaranteed
Hmm.
situation, but they have changed a lot. Man, if you were to buy a car from 20 years ago, even 30 years ago, right? You'd be rolling the window up like this.
Right.
You only had an AM, FM, a cassette player in the 80s. But as time has gone on, technology has gotten better. Now, now the new annuities, you push the button, the window goes up. You
Yeah.
talking to your car, I want to listen to this, and this was what comes out. You got these big screens, you got all this kind of stuff, quote unquote, in these annuities, just like you do with other technology in cars and things like that. So
Yeah.
we're not dealing with the cars from the 1980s or the annuities from the 80s or 70s. There are so many advancements that are made because companies want to be competitive to help people be more successful. And there's basically three types. There's your traditional fixed annuity, which is more of your old school type annuity, right? It's just put money in here. It's going to get this amount of interest guaranteed for this amount of time. At the end of that time period, you can begin to withdraw it if you want to, or reset it up again, whatever. It's like a CD that on steroids, kind of, right? We've seen
Hmm.
CDs recently. We'll give you 5.5% for 9 months or something like that. Well, some of these fixed annuities will give you 5.5% for 5 years,
Hmm.
guaranteed. That's why banks, when they do these special high interest rates, they do them for really a short period of time because they know interest rates are going to change, right? So they don't want to be
Right.
locked into this 5% thing for 3 or 4 years. Like, we'll give it to you for 9 months or you, which is good. But if you're more of a long-term thinker, like, hey, I don't need this money, it's money with a purpose, a fixed annuity can get you 5.5% still for a specific amount of time. So when the interest rates
Hmm.
do drop, and everyone else is getting 2% CDs or whatever, you're still getting your 5.5%. So that's a
Right.
fixed annuity. On the other end of the spectrum, you have variable annuities, which this is where a lot of people have a lot of bad taste in their mouth now. Financial advisor or someone like that maybe put someone into a variable annuity. What does it mean? It can vary. The interest rate can go up, or you can actually lose money. So it can go down. It's variables tied into stocks and markets and things like that a little bit more and how they go. So those are variable annuities. They generally have higher fees. They do have some different features and riders that you can utilize that are good sometimes, but they are, if all your money's in the stock market, then you put money into variable annuity. That variable annuity money isn't necessarily safe, right? Because you can go up and down. They've created a new product in the last 20 years called a fixed index annuity.
Hmm.
You kind of get a little bit of both worlds. You got a guaranteed part of it, but you also can grow with gains in the market. S&P
Mhm.
500, different index strategies. So that one there provides you with, my money's safe, but my money could still grow. I
Mhm.
could get, I just had a client on the annual statement that got up to 18, 19, 20%, depending on how these index strategies work and all the bells and whistles with inside of them. So, but if the market crashed, we just had the election, whatever, if something happened in a year, 2 years or whatever, we know that in a fixed index annuity, this money's totally safe. I'm not losing a dime,
Right. That's right.
So those are three types of annuities. Some people have a bad impression of the old school fixed annuities because they only used to pay 2% or whatever. And then some people are in these variable annuities on this side, and they haven't lost money. The fees are higher, so they're frustrated. But there's a middle one that actually, if you look up the growth of that industry, the fixed index annuity, it's billions and billions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
So our clients just like, you're not the only one putting this money in here, Mike. There are millions of people that are using
Right.
this investment tool because they've been taught what it can do, you know. And
Yeah.
that's part of what we try to do is teach people, hey, this could be a great tool for you for your retirement.
Yeah, and that's really good. I know you talk a little bit about it in your book. You've got lots of information on websites and things, but I think the best thing, Johnny, honestly, is somebody just to reach out and schedule a call with you, and to sit down and talk with you. Come to one of your workshops, your seminar events, get to know you. Sit down and just talk through where are you in your retirement planning process. What do you have? What kind of buckets of money do you have? What's the purpose of the money? And Johnny answers questions. He's really here to help you retire at new heights. And that's what everything, the retirement blueprint that he has, and the toolbox, the toolkit, he's got all of this at his fingertips, ready to help you put together a retirement plan that's going to help you achieve whatever you are wanting to do. So I'm super excited, Johnny, about this episode, but in the coming episodes, because we're going to be talking about not only the toolkit, we're going to be talking about a new website and a new tool you have online that's going to really help people get an understanding of some of the tax situations of the retirement, and just a lot of things going on that you're keeping up with the pace. You're cutting edge. You're doing some cool things, but you're just dare I say, like the Dukes of Hazzard, you're just a good old boy, and you just want to help people and talk with them about this thing called retirement. So uh, reach out to Johnny.
Absolutely.
Johnny, you've got you also have an updated website name. It's retireatnewheights.com. And that's the same as your book, Retire at New Heights, and your company name. So retireatnewheights.com is where you should go to look at all of the tools that Johnny has available. Schedule a call with him. Have the conversation to talk about, yeah, talk about annuities, but talk about a whole lot more. Talk about your money that you've worked so hard to put back and to retire on, and see how Johnny can help you retire at new heights by using this retirement blueprint that he will help you create for you and your family. So, Johnny, man,
Absolutely.
thanks for a fun episode around annuities and what they are and how you can use them as a tool in your retirement plan.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you soon.